has every movie is doing things where they're disarming bombs and weapons, and it's always like cutting a wire, or Batman's rig taking the nuclear device over, Lake Michigan or something like that. But like this movie, like you never think of them taking out the core. Why it's in the nose, I don't know, and why the guidance system is up there, I don't know either. But you never see anything like that. So I do think it's unique, and I enjoy it.
No, is your favorite part of this movie Kristen Wiig as Vicky St. Elmo? Because she's mine.
I love Kristen Wiig and everything.
But in this movie, he keeps dressing her up. So he dresses her up as MacGruber, and then he dresses her up as the Vonnick, I think was his name, the guy who was shooting at them. Let's see, where was he? Zeke, maybe? I think it was Zeke. One of the guys.
Zeke? No, it was. Oh my gosh. Hossbender.
Yeah, Hossbender. That's what it is. And who gets smushed by a mop? He's like, yeah, it'll be a great commercial for this mop. No, it won't. He keeps dressing her up, and at the end, she's like, I peed. I peed myself. And then when she's dealing with Val Kilmer, he pulls down her. She's gagged, and she's like, I'll stick her where the sun doesn't shine. He's like, where's that? And she's like, up your butt, up your butthole. And then there's another scene where Val Kilmer's like, oh, you would like, so she says something. He's like, oh, you would do me? And she goes, ew, no. And her song, 2 is a wonderful number, and 3 is a crowd that's true, but 4 is the perfect number, for sure if it's 2 kids and me and you. What does that mean?
It's so cheesy. It's so terrible.
But at the end, there's 3 of them.
MacGruber thinks she's an incredible lyricist.
They have a banging bod, great dresser, and they wear the same color outfits at the parties.
Yeah, they do.
Like one's stuck in the 80s and the other one's stuck in MacGruber's 80s, right? Would you say? One's Vicky, 80s too?
I would say MacGruber's early 80s, late 70s, and Vicky's got to be. I mean, she's wearing like that pantsuit. Didn't that stuff start coming around in like the 60s?
Yeah. They're both from other decades.
They're not dressed appropriately for that party, that's for sure.
Why? How? What was the mission in Nicaragua that got her shot?
Oh man, I don't.
And what does she do? Because she infiltrated the party, and she was actually she was doing good work inside of that party, getting deep intel, but MacGruber got thrown out, and he got his CD player broken, and he made her leave. That handsome guy over there. Oh, so there's a scene where they've infiltrated a party, and she's talking to MacGruber. She's like, yeah, they're over there by that handsome guy. Oh, this handsome, why don't you marry him? He's such an idiot. He's such a terrible character.
If he's so handsome, why don't you quit your job and go marry him?
I know we're just raining stuff out here, but whatever. But I think my favorite line reading by Val Kilmer is later on in the film. He's like, thanks for the upper decker, MacGruber.
That's one of my favorite lines. And not necessarily Dieter von Kunt's line, but just the idea of an upper decker. And for those of you that don't know, it's where you go poop in the tank and not the bowl. It's like, I think we've all been to those places, and we've all been to those people's houses that we just don't like, and we've wanted to leave them an upper decker. And it's all thanks to MacGruber.
I mean, all right, so he knows
I love it because he walks into the party. So it's like, so they get the invite to the party, and the door opens to Eddie Money's. His car door opens to Eddie Money's "Take Me Home Tonight." And that's like my all-time favorite party song. And it's all slow motion, him walking up to the guard that's like guarding the party, and he just flips him off. He just walks right through into the party. And the first thing he says, he asks where Vicky is, and then he goes, but first I need to take care of something. And so then he disappears for a few minutes, and he comes back, and it turns out that he was taking an upper decker in the master bedroom.
And Dieter knows it was him.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so awful.
But see, Dieter didn't even know. Oh no, Dieter knew he was at the party because, he didn't know that he was at the club. He shows up to the club.
Club, yeah.
Yeah, but when he's at that party, he walks up on Dieter. He's like, oh, you're taking him real young? Like, he calls this girl, he insults her, and Val Kilmer's like, that's my daughter. And then he has a senator lose $700,000.
It just backfires very quickly.
He's bluffing. Oh, man. And I love how he keeps falling for everything that Dieter says. So I put together the world's greatest crew, but I had some homemade C4 and it blew up. Oh my gosh, I had that happen as well.
We have a lot in common.
Oh man. All right, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk more MacGruber. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And Tom and I, we just got some throat lozenges, didn't we?
We needed them. We were about to get cold turkeyed.
Now, I just want you to know something. I'm going to watch him watch me kill you right in front of him. Then I'm going to watch me kill him in a mirror. Then I'm going to watch TV. I hope there's something good on. Oh, man, what a great line. So so in college, before this movie came out, my friends and I, we made a movie called Dirty Hoffmeyer, a short. And in the movie, Dirty Hoffmeyer is tasked with chasing down this drug dealer. And there's some similar lines. There's a big fight between the drug dealer and Dirty Hoffmeyer. And Dirty Hoffmeyer comes home, and the drug dealer is waiting for him. And the drug dealer's like, Hoffmeyer, you got a great movie collection. I'm going to borrow some of these after I kill you. That's a line. And then there's also another line, I want you to kill him and then kill him again. So I wondered. I'm telling you, man.
I see some similarities here.
And like, there's a scene where Dirty Hoffmeyer is talking to this guy, his informant. And he's like, man, you on drugs? You on this? He goes, he's like, you on oregano? And the guy goes, yeah. I'm like, no, you're not. He's like, if I had some, I'd smoke it. And then there's a scene where I shake down a guy. I give him a bunch of cash for some info. And then he asks me what the secret ingredient is to my potato salad. And it's Worcester. Then I get all my money back. He's like, what's the ingredient to your potato salad? I'm like, $20. So all the money I just gave him, I get back. Because I told him the secret ingredient to mine.
That just sounds like good business to me.
I know I'm talking about something I shot and laughing about it, but it's very MacGruber-esque. It's not as vulgar. I don't think we used any profanity in it. It's like the PG version of MacGruber, which I don't know would work. I don't know if that would work.
You know what I really love about this movie is the dialogue.
Oh, for
and
sure.
how snappy and quick everything is. You know, I was just thinking about this a minute ago, is that there is a line in this movie for every instance in your life.
Let's hear 'em.
If you just wanted, I mean, there's so many of them, but it's just like, if you wanted just to reply in MacGruberisms to every conversation, you probably could do it. My memory is not good enough to do that, but that's why I mostly reply in MacGruber gifs every time we text.
Or what about, so he's untouchable. I'll touch him wherever I want. Or someone's like,
How's your nose, rookie?
Your guy can't help you, but I can. Now, so when you and I worked on sets together, you called everybody turds, frickin' turds.
I did.
And I did not know that was from MacGruber. I just thought that was an Iowa Tom thing. But
No,
yeah,
that was straight up. That was a MacGruber line.
from every third sentence, you called someone a turd. So do you live the doctrine of this film?
I do. It is my holy doctrine.
I feel like your online presence, as far as commenting on things, is very MacGruber-esque.
I do drop a lot of those gifs on Facebook, especially with MacGruber, slow motion screaming right after he gets his hair cut, or his awkward acknowledgement of one of his possible team members making out in the auto shop.
Oh yeah, I can't believe they got Big Show to do that, and that was the DP, the director of photography. Yeah, he
I
wanted
didn't know
to do that.
That's great. That is so awesome.
What was
and he's the only guy that lives too of all MacGruber's former teammates. He's the only guy that ends up making it to the end of the movie.
It's it's kind of crappy of him that he doesn't bring him with, right? Because he doesn't bring back. He just scratches his name out. That'd have been funnier if he brought him with, because that would add another element to his character, not just a homophobic element. More of he just doesn't care.
He would have to change his dialogue then, because then it wouldn't be 100 years of combined combat experience. It'd be 120.
100. So those 6 guys, that makes sense, because some of them are in their 40s. Well, they're all in their 50s, so they had to have.
You know, that scene where they all die in the van is probably one of my all-time greatest oh crap moments.
Oh, no. Oh,
Tug. You guys okay?
I did not see that happening. Did you?
No. I mean, there's that occasional movie, one movie every couple of years that really gives you that incredible, unbelievable moment of oh my God, did that just happen? And this just like tops everything.
How did he know what target Tug was going to be behind throwing knives into?
It's a good point.
No, wait, Tanker. Tanker Lutz.
Tanker Lutz.
How did he know?
He's probably fortunate that how hard Tanker's throwing those knives, it didn't go through the target and into him.
Tanker did not see him. So Tanker gets there, goes to his lane, and MacGruber's behind it already, waiting.
Yeah, he must have shown up really early for that.
I just wanted to marinate on that for a little bit. It's pretty interesting. And then, so Tug Phelps was played by Dilip Singh, who was the Great Khali in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And when they did their fist bump, obviously his English wasn't that great. So when they did the fist bump, he didn't know that you're just supposed to bash fists kind of nicely. So the first take, he just smashed Will Forte's hand. And his hand is so big, Will Forte got smushed by him from that fist bump.
I love how they all have like the fist bumps, handshakes or whatever. Like they all have, or like the commando hand slap between Carl Weathers and Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah.
Like they all have their little mannerisms with each other. And those other guys' hands are so huge. They're just monsters.
You know what? I'm kind of worried about this. What would the movie have been like if they lived?
I don't know if I don't know. I feel like they had to die because it had to come back to Dixon Piper and Vicky St. Elmo. It's like unless they got kidnapped and it becomes a rescue mission.
I guess then the world will never have Tug.
Oh God, you guys okay?
Now, I just gotta say, I know we're quoting lines. I just gotta do one thing. There's a line in this where MacGruber tells Vicky that he's happy she's alive. He's like, these vests, like, they're cheap, but they're really hard to find. I only have 2 of them.
It's like you think he's gonna compliment or like, express that he's happy that she survived, but it turns out he's just more happy because the vest didn't get torn up.
So where does this rank as far as SNL films for you?
Oh man, that's a tough one when you factor in like Wayne's World for me.
I did my top 5 if you want to hear it.
Yeah, do it.
All right, so I'll let you think while I explain these. So 5, I'm putting Coneheads because I just like it then more than, there's Night at the Roxbury, that doesn't really hold up. Maybe Ladies Man, but no. Yeah, it's definitely Coneheads. 4 was easy for me, Wayne's World 2. I love that movie. I think it's a good sequel. It repeats a lot of the stuff, but I still like spending time with these guys. Then it's MacGruber, Blues Brothers, Wayne's World. So MacGruber is my 3rd favorite SNL film because Wayne's World and Blues Brothers are Stone Cold classics. That's not hyperbole. I love these films. And MacGruber, it has a massive cult following. It's NBC shows in development. People enjoy it. But I got to give Wayne's World and Blues Brothers more credit than MacGruber. So I'm putting MacGruber 3. What would you do?
Man, that's tough for me. Boy. And now I'm looking here, like Three Amigos, that also was a SNL movie, I believe.
That came from them?
I think it originally came as a skit from SNL. I'd have to look into it, but I believe it was originally a skit.
Well, that'd be number 2 then.
Man, I don't know. I
Superstar,
would probably
It's Pat.
Let me see here. That would probably be I'm going to probably go, probably easier if I break it going from top. Top 1 is probably Blues Brothers for me, then Wayne's World and MacGruber, and then I'm probably going to have to go Wayne's World 2, and then Three Amigos. But of all those movies, I think MacGruber is by far and away the most rewatchable film for me.
Oh, if I had to put one of them on right now, it would be MacGruber. Because Blues Brothers is great, but I just don't want to watch it all the time. I'd watch Wayne's World, but I think the top 3 are pretty easy. Every list, I looked at a bunch of lists, and these were the 3. So that sometimes Blues Brothers was split with Wayne's World, but they were all 1, 2, 3 every time. MacGruber's good. It just wasn't made for. It was made for a very tiny audience. An R-rated SNL skit with an aggressively horrible lead character. Oh man. And no A-list star either. It was just Will Forte. But it was only a $10 million budget. So it's a shame that it didn't make that much. It's kind of weird how Hot Rod tanked. Popstar never stopped stopping tanked. This tanked. But they all had